Welcome back to my channel. It's Rene Marcus. Thank you so very much for tuning in, and if you're new to my channel, please do me that favor and press that subscribe button. So today it's all about poultry, and why do I actually believe my poultry actually will be successful in the Gambia. This is because economic tricks simulation shows that improving productivity and competitiveness of the main agricultural value chains, which includes groundnut, millet, rice, maize, vegetable, and poultry meat and eggs, could lead to significant agricultural and economic growth. This potential growth would come mostly from rice, followed by chicken meat. And if the Gambians actually succeed to reach a country average rice yield of 4 metric tons per hectare, like Senegal, the agricultural gross production value would increase by about $80 million, moving from $24 million to $103 million, which represents an annual average sector growth of 7% over a 5-year period, leading to an annual increase by 1.3 point of the GDP growth. So guys, this is the reason why I am actually taking the risk to start poultry, because you know, a lot of people actually say, oh, when you start poultry you need to know what you're actually putting yourself in, because Rene Marcus, you have not been the first person that wanted to start such a huge poultry in the Gambia and want to grow massively. I know guys, that's why it's so important to actually do research to understand the poultry market, because demand for livestock products including poultry is expanding in West Africa as a result of population growth, and also the trade liberalization has had differing effects on poultry markets in the region as well. So this is my reason, basically, because I want to change things, and because the poultry sector plays a pivotal role in the country's economic, and it is set to play a key role in future food security. And also the government recognized this pivotal role that poultry sector contributes to the development of commerce and the economy of the Gambia. So the Gambia remains mainly agricultural country as far as employment is actually concerned, and a service economy in terms of contribution to the GDP. And guys, could you actually believe that the Gambia actually needs over 3.5 million chickens? This includes broiler chicken and layer chickens. It's actually needed in the Gambia. But guess what? We actually have less than 100,000 birds in the country. So even me and my poultry is not enough for the country. We need more people to come and invest in poultry. So poultry is actually a huge thing in the Gambia that we actually need, and the poultry value chain in the Gambia has tremendous value and has been relatively underdeveloped. The market is flooded with cheap chickens, basically cheap broiler and also eggs. So this basically means the layers, whether it's broiler chicken or layers, mainly, and these chickens are actually mainly from Brazil and also Holland and the Middle East as well, which basically makes the market difficult for the locals to actually produce and also compete, because they can't compete because these chickens are actually being imported from Holland and Brazil, which comes cheaper than what the locals are actually selling. Because the reason being is because we actually do not have our own hatcheries in the Gambia, so which basically means that all chickens are actually being imported from Senegal and Holland as well. So let's say in 2010 over 222,000 day-old chickens were imported in the country. So guys, guess what? The cost of importing 10,000 day-old chickens per flight, this actually cost the country 8,000 euros. Guys, imagine, look into this. This is actually costing the country a whole lot of money to basically import day-old chickens. So this is why we actually have our own incubators, so that we can actually hatch our own eggs, because it's costing the country a whole lot of money. And this is very bad, because over 200,000 day-old chickens are being imported in the country. So because that's what the locals would actually then buy to actually breed in order to sell it out, but then they can't even make enough money out of it, because they are actually having to buy those birds. And if you basically have to think about the cost of feeding those birds, it costs them a whole lot of money. So this is why the competitiveness needs to increase in the country to basically help everyone. And also, when if you're actually thinking of starting your own poultry business, it's very important that you plan ahead, at least a year ahead, or if you've got more time, then why not plan and do your research. Planning ahead will help you a lot, and doing your research. You will find out that once you start your project, you will make so many mistakes as if you've never researched about this project before. Location is very important. It's best to actually have your farm in like a rural area, so undeveloped area, because it's best to basically have it where there isn't that many built houses. So it basically just helps the birds, and also the safety of the birds as well. The other thing is you need to think about the market gap. So in whichever country that you're actually planning to start your poultry farming, you need to know what type of birds are actually in the market and what do they actually need, whether it's a broiler birds or layer birds. So the broiler birds are actually the chickens for meat, and the layer ones are the chickens for eggs. And the other thing is to actually know your target market. So a country like Gambia, so chicken basically, so for poultry market, you're basically targeting everyone, especially the tourism industry, because as far as I'm aware, our country is known for its tourism. So definitely people would want to eat chicken. And in the Gambia, the daily consumption of eggs daily, it's actually over 200,000. So these are the things that you need to know: what's actually in the market, and what is the daily consumption for both the chicken meat and also for the eggs as well. And the other thing is, you need to think about the food so that you would be giving your birds. So it's best to actually grow your own food, because this will actually help you in the financing, because it costs a lot. These birds eat a lot, and especially if you're actually going for layer birds, the more they eat, the better eggs they actually produce. So, and also medication comes next as well. Your birds need medication and hygiene. It's very, very important. Ventilation as well is something you would need to think about when building the poultry house. Please do not make the same mistake as we did when we started the poultry house. Security is huge, because you'll find out that most of your staff are actually stealing your either chickens or the chicken eggs as well. So it's very, very important that you are actually in the country where your business is, so that you can manage your business on your own. Don't let others to actually manage it for you. So that is very, very important. And the way that you would want to manage your birds, your staff wouldn't actually be that motivated, because it's your money. So if you're losing out, you're losing out, and they're not losing out. So that's something you need to think about. Thank you so very much for tuning in today, and if you really enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Thank you guys. You know I love you, right? So goodbye, and I hope you did enjoy this video.